Everyone, Saranai, dear Dhamma friends. We will wait for some time until our friends gathered. I think it is time to start. Everyone, Saranai, good evening, Dhamma friends. I am Bhante Dhammalankara from Labunurva Kanda Forest Monastery in the north central province of Sri Lanka. It is a pleasure to meet you all again to talk about the discussion the noble teachings of the Buddha. After the talk, I will be very happy to answer any of your questions. Let's invite two devas join us. Samanta Cakkavalesu Tragachantu Devata Saddhamman Nirajassa Sunantu Sagga Mukkadam Dhammasavana Kalo Ayam Badanta Dhammasavana Kalo Ayam Badanta Dhammasavana Kalo Ayam Badanta. Let's begin by paying homage to our great teacher Samma Sambuddha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Dear friends, today too we are going to discuss another important discourse known as Cūḻamālukyasutta Sutta. Sutta number is 63. Is included to Majjhima Nikaya. During the time of the Supreme Buddha, there was a bhikkhu known as Mālunkyāputta. That is why this sutta called Mālunkyāputta Sutta. He had some peculiar thoughts, such as world is eternal and world is not eternal. World is finite. World the soul is the same. After death, being exists. After death, being not exist. Both exist and not and does not exist. The last one, after death, a being neither exists nor does not exist. Mālunkyāputta heard that the Buddha never answered these questions. However, he wanted to find answers to these questions from the Buddha himself. It was because he had not yet gained profound understanding of the Dhamma, the teachings of the Buddha. Due to this, he went on spending his time contemplating on different such views. Further, he wanted to find out which view among these 10 was the correct one. So he decided to somehow find the correct one. He decided to leave the Buddha Sasana or the order if he did not get answer from the Buddha at least one of these questions. Went to meet Buddha. With that idea in his mind, he went to meet the Buddha and revealed his idea to the Buddha. Further, he insisted that if he did not get answers for his questions about the world, about this 10 questions. He would leave the Mālunkyāputta or the Buddha Sasana. Then Buddha asked him, Mālunkyāputta, did you make a request at the time you renounced to become a monk in my sasana? That you would remain as a monk only if you get the answers to your question from the Buddha. To this, Mālunkyāputta said, no, Venerable Sir. And Buddha asked again, Mālunkyāputta, have I ever said I would answer to your question only if you come to the Buddha Sasana? Mālunkyāputta said, no, Venerable Sir. Then Buddha said, you stupid monk, isn't it foolish to make such a meaningless request? And Tathagata, the Buddha, further went on saying, Mālunkyāputta, how much you insist, the Buddha will never answer such irrelevant questions. Also, Buddha provided him with some example. Mālunkyāputta, if a person was wounded by poisonous arrow and was being taken to a doctor by his kinsmen and friends, and before the doctor removed the poisonous arrow, he wanted to know the caste of the person who shot the poisonous arrow. Where does he live in? Which village? From which direction he shot the arrow? What was the arrow made of? What was the bow string made of? And what type of feathers were attached to the arrow? He will also go on saying, I will allow the poisonous arrow be removed only if I get the answers to my questions. If I do not get the answers, shall I not allow the poisonous arrow removed and accept your treatment? Then what do you think will happen to this person? He will die without any kind of treatment. Likewise, Tathagata, the Buddha, who shall never answer those questions, however, who may ask them these questions. Then the Buddha asked Mālunkyāputta whether there could be a holy or spiritual life if one possesses these 10 views. Mālunkyāputta said no. Then the Buddha explained, Bhikkhu Mālunkyāputta, then the Buddha explained to Mālunkyāputta that he cannot achieve a holy life if he possesses any of these wrong views or delusions. Also, as long as you live with any of these 10 views or views, you shall never attain liberation from samsara, the ending of the circle of birth and death, which is accompanied with dukkha or stress or suffering. Mālunkyāputta, why do you think that I do not want to give answers to your questions. Then then Buddha explained, because it is meaningless. That means asking such questions, it is meaningless, and contemplating such views, meaningless. Buddha explained. Do not help with holy life. Do not help to the Brahmacharya. And do not help with the development of the understanding of the reality or the panya, understanding. Do not help with the attainment of Nibbana, which is the complete liberation from samsara, the continuous of circle, the continuous circle of birth and death. That is why Buddha did not answer these questions or these views. Actually, these are views. Not only the Mālunkyāputta had these views, these ideas. He had learned these ideas, these views from some teachers who lived that period in India. And however, Mālunkyāputta, Buddha said again, however, Mālunkyāputta, I teach what is dukkha. Buddha said that I don't teach, I don't discuss about that views, but however, I teach what is dukkha or suffering. Dukkha or suffering. I teach what is the reason of the dukkha. I teach dukkha samudaya. It is called dukkha samudaya satya. I teach dukkha samudaya. And I teach the liberation. I teach the nibbana. I teach that getting rid of tanha or the desire is the way to nibbana or the liberation. I teach nibbana. I teach the path to nibbana. Why I am saying that? I teach Noble Eightfold Path or the Dukkha Nirodha Gamini Patipada. It is called Dukkha Nirodha Gamini Patipada, path to nibbana. I teach. Why I am teach that? Buddha asked. It is meaningful. It is meaningful. And it helps for the Brahmacharya or the holy life. It helps to develop sila, discipline in behavior or the moral conduct, samadhi, tranquility of the mind, panya, understanding. It is for the ultimate goal of Nibbana. Then Buddha explained, I teach dukkha. Now we must understand, we should understand about the dukkha. Most of the time, dukkha is unexposed or hidden. Therefore, we can never understand its true nature. We can understand, we can never understand its true nature. What do we need to understand from this sutta? We too may get into such views without our awareness. People too may keep talking about such views But what we need to keep in mind is that we shall never reach the ultimate goal of Nibbana by thinking of beginning of the beings, beginning of the world, ending of the world, and beginning of the world, ending of the animals and beings. Then what should we do? We need to realize dukkha or stress or suffering. We need to realize that dukkha is present in all three realms: kama loka, sensual realm; rupa loka, form or imagery realms; and arupa loka, formless or imageless realm. Because there is no true happiness or satisfaction in our mind, we shall always regain a body as long as we remain in this samsara, which brings sicknesses and pain. Along with that come problems. Wherever we will be born, we will be associated with 5 aggregates of attachment of clingings. Because we are unhappy and stressed or suffered, that we believe that there should be a happiness and comfort elsewhere. Connected with the sensual pleasure or rupa loka, imagery world, and arupa loka, that means if we believe that happiness and comfort exist somewhere, such thoughts will only bring us upadana, bhava, jati, jara, marana. Upadana means clinging. Bhava means existence. Jati means birth. Jara means decay. Marana means death. Dear friends, what we need to understand is all what we feel and think do not exist in reality. They exist due to the presence of reasons, or they exist due to the presence of reasons. What do we understand as reasons? Now we can understand, now we can think why we are remain in this world. Eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind. These are the reasons, main reason. For an example, the eye, the visual object, and the eye consciousness come together, create the world. That is how world is created for us by our 5 senses, 6 senses. Some same activity take place with the eye and sound, with the ear and sounds, nose and smell, tongue and taste, body and touch, mind and thoughts. If you understand this activity clearly, regularly, you never think that I exist. You never think that a person exist. Dear friends, dukkha arises due to tanha or the desire. Now you can understand the world arises due to tanha or desire. Now, if you understand this, if Mālunkyāputta had understand this, he did not ask, world is eternal or world is not eternal. And he did not ask, and dukkha arises due to tanha. We can introduce as the reason tanha. This desire arises in the eye, nose, tongue, body, some connection problem I had. So if we can get rid of this tanha or the desire that arises in the six senses, organs, we can get rid of dukkha, the stress or the suffering. It is the complete liberation from samsara and attain the final goal, the nibbana. How do we do that? The path that leads to nibbana is the noble eightfold path known as Aryo Attangiko Maggo. It is called Dukkha Nirodha Gamini Patipada. Both are the same. Therefore, our practice need to be developed within this path. For that, we must constantly listen to Dhamma, analyze it, and contemplate on the Four Noble Truth, the Cūḷamālukyasutta, Four Noble Truth. The more you contemplate, the better you understand. Until the moment you attain arahanthood, you must keep on the studying and understanding these Four Noble Truths. Until that moment, one can never be satisfied or assured that he or she has learned everything and understand everything. Therefore, it is important to live within Dhamma, discuss Dhamma, and contemplate Dhamma. What is meaning by Dhamma? Dhamma is Four Noble Truth, Cūḷamālukyasutta. After listening to the Buddha's explanation, his questions, Bhikkhu Mālunkyāputta become overjoyed and grateful, acknowledged the wisdom of the Buddha. I think it is time to any of your question. There is a question when talking about disturbed, I got connection problem today. When talking about the soul and the body, beings are the same or the different, not beings declared by the Buddha. The Pali word for soul is here, Jiva. Could you explain about the word, please? When we think about the soul, did not explain about the jiva, or the beings, existing beings. Means normally when we discuss about the people or beings, we have to reason, or when the causes presence, in the reasons are presence, there is a person, there is a man. When the reasons are not, there are no person. I think that is the Buddha's idea. When some reason is occur, when some reasons are present, there are some something. But if there are no, when some in absence of a reason, we can't see the person or thing. Because of the reason, we can see something. That is the another question I have got. Thank you very much, Bhante. What we understand as the world is actually what is the constructed or the created our own five senses and the mind. Therefore, isn't meaningless ask the question about the beginning or its existence. Thank you for this question. In this case, we can understand very special point. Buddha explained, "Imasmin vyāmatte kalebare lokancha paññāpe, loka samudyancha paññāpe, loka nirodhancha paññāpemi, loka nirodhagamini patipadancha paññāpe." If we want to understand about the world system, we have to understand about the body. Imasmin vyāmatte kalebare lokancha paññāpe. Buddha teach the world in this body and the mind. So that is how we create the world. When we see something, when we listen something, when we smelling something, when we touching something, when we think or contemplating, thinking something, we are creating the world. That is how the world is created for us. And some people are allowed to discuss about the world, the shape of the world, and the people say the world is flat, world is round, or the shape. They love to discuss about the world and the beings. It is a nature, but Buddha did not explain about the world like this. Sometime Buddha wanted to explain some. Buddha wanted to teach someone to explain some Dhamma. At that time, Buddha taught some ideas about the world, how these beings come and from his last birth. That is why Buddha taught such teachings. But Buddha did not want to teach about the world, the physical world. If we want to understand about the world, we have to understand this body and the mind. This is the Buddha's teaching. Bhante teach us the essence of the briefly in this sutta. I think it is the that is the good question. I think I find it last time I explained about that. We should not think. We don't want to think about the creating of the world. The people normally tend to think about the world system. How many world are there? How much world system are there? How long it? How old it? But those ideas we can never understand. We can never understand those idea. We can never get clarify those ideas. The world is about us. The Buddha explained, I teach the world in this body and the mind. That is what we should understand according to this sutta. And the main thing is we can always learn, and we should always learn about the Four Noble Truths. It is the learning of the world. That is the learning of the world. Bhante, what is the difference between kilesa and asava? According to my knowledge, kilesa and asava, asava means our habits. Habits, I think, habits you can see when we do something. Usually, it is come as our it comes as a habit. That is called asava. But in this case, when we associate people, this my mother, this my father, this my daughter, we are associating. But now, if we understand now Dhamma about this, even though we understand, we can't understand this is not the my things. We can't, because we have asava. We can see some beloved one. We have some beloved people in our world. When after listening them, after thinking or practicing them, even though we feel this is my mother, this is my father, this is my beloved one. Why that? There is an asava. It is called asava or asava. It is the asava. And we practice that asava for our happiness, for enjoy. Then comes kilesa. It is called Raga, Desa, Moha. We can introduce Kilesa as Raga, Desa, Moha. And we can introduce Pancha Nivarana, Kilesa. Kamachanda means Kamachanda. Vyapada, Tinamid, Uddacha, Kukuch, Vichikicha. Those also Kilesa. Asava and Kilesa. Asava and Kilesa do same thing. Both are problems. Both are problems. Do same thing. We Asava and Kilesa keep us in this samsara, and Asava and Kilesa don't help us to understand Dhamma, and don't help us to clear our mind. And that is the difference of the Asava and Kilesa. We can get rid of this Asava and Kilesa practicing eightfold path, or practicing Sila. And if we practice eightfold path or the Four Noble Truth, we can get rid of Asava. I think these are the questions. Thank you very much for your combination and asking questions. We have come to the end of the sermon now. Let's do Anumodana. First, to my teachers, I would like to get the permission to speak the name. Mālunkyāputta Sudassana Thera and Mālunkyāputta Nandaratana Thera and Kotmal Thera and Bhikkhu Pesala and Bhante Sudasso and Ayasoma and all the residents of the monastery, as well as those who participated in the Dhamma talk in person and online, all beings. Ettavataca ammehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavataca ammehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavataca ammehi sambatang punya sampatti siddhya. I am blessing all of you now. Abhivadana silissa niccang uddhapacayino cattaro dhamma vaddanti ayuvanno sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevaca ato nibbana sampatti iminate samijjatu. I shall see you next session. Teruvan Saranai and good night.